Some huge news coming out right now, as I seen recently that Eddie Hearn was interested in calling it quits as far as the boxing game and moving in another direction. I seen in a recent interview he was talking about the sale for Matchroom could possibly be around the corner, and just don't know the future. Boxing is changing, different things going on. He's been in the business of boxing for a long time with his father, and they've had some other things they're trying to interest in sports. A lot of different sports they're actually interested in and making some moves in. So right now, Eddie Hearn is moving in another direction. And it seems like he's still in boxing, but for how long, he doesn't know. And his father said recently that they definitely were interested in a sale, but as far as the Matchroom conglomerate, they wanted to sell that in the future. They just don't know who, particularly Barry Hearn, doesn't know who he wants to sell his company to. If it ever happens, but he knows it will happen sooner or later. But nothing concrete. Open to the selling the boxing company, as well as just the whole, especially Matchroom boxing. But right now, in the docu-series he has with Netflix called The Greatest Showman, says, I'm not going to gamble away my fortune, but if the right deal comes along, selling Matchroom is not out of the question. And Eddie Hearn had came along and said that Turki Alalshikh was actually interested in buying Matchroom. And we don't know the particulars, but they wanted to keep that confidential. It wasn't something that was open conversation. But between Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn, and he was saying that, just things as far as a sale was never in a conversation at any point with Turki Alalshikh, as far as with him. But he was saying, I'm planning my exit, and whoever gets the company after him has to follow the rules, no matter who they are. He said that applies to Turki. No matter who they are, as far as anybody who purchases in that company, they have a set of rules they want to go by and how they want things ran. The same way they want it to look as if they never left. Not as far as the fighters and everything else of choices, but how most of their events are ran and certain things. I mean, when you have a company like that, if you want to keep it in the family or down the line, not even in the family, just a certain standard with Turki Alalshikh or anyone else, well, that's your doing. I mean, that's a deal that could be included, but most people won't go with that. They'll just start their own thing, but it depends. But when he looks at it, it says that 1.5 billion is actually a price that they're starting off at right now. That's for the whole entire Matchroom sport conglomerate. So if that's something that Turki Alalshikh is interested in, which he says that he is, from what I'm seeing on the docu-series, it just came out. It's called The Greatest Showman. It's on Netflix. And I was actually hearing about that days ago before I caught a couple of episodes and ran across some things dealing with this episode that came out with Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn. But it's actually very good. And Eddie Hearn's been talking about selling this company for a while now and stepping away from boxing. So, I'm not really surprised by what he's actually throwing out there, or his father, because this is a huge situation that can happen. If Turki Alalshikh can get his hands on that company or anyone else, Turki will get anything done anyways, whichever way he wants to go. He doesn't really need to purchase into a company, but if that's the direction he wants to go, then that would be good. He's already done a lot of events around them and has some things, that you can consider, I don't know, you can say an investment or just a partnership at some point, or just a good business deal. But it's all progressed so far. They've taken a couple of losses as far as Matchroom as a company, but when you have guys like Shakur who have big fights recently, not currently joined at the hip with Matchroom, but when you have certain companies, and then also when you have certain fighters who are looking to go in certain directions, yeah, you would want a guy like Turkey to step in and do certain things. But that's at certain companies. However they want it ran, that depends on them. But I know with Turki Alalshikh, he's gonna have any kind of company or whatever's going on running very well. I know at Riyadh season he's doing an excellent job, and he's gonna continue to do that. But a sale would definitely be in their best interest to make happen, because if they can't put it in his hands, who's already kind of looking at things secondhand, kind of picking up on what he should do in certain situations, learning from the best that's been around for a while. It's like on the job training at a certain point. So everything could go well, but he's definitely a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. But for the company to be up for sale, Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn are definitely very serious about that whole situation, because they know that boxing is changing. A lot of streaming going on. Cable services are not the same. Cable services aren't really picking up boxing. They're just moving to a different direction. Everything's on apps now. DAZN was early on that, but just the talent and everything else, it's different. Everything is a lot more open. It's not closed in like it was. It's a high demand for a lot of things. The pay is going up. And when the pay goes up, a lot of companies get out. But it all depends, different things. Guys are getting older, not getting younger. Hearn say he doesn't want to be around boxing the same age as his dad, because he sees what's happened to him, dealing with the business for so long. But we'll see. Definitely a huge story, though. This can put boxing in another direction. But that's all I got. Like and subscribe.